Hello and welcome. As you can see right now, we're looking at video from an action camera mounted on my FPV drone. This is in fact the same video that I posted a couple months ago, showing my drone tumbling out of the sky from about 100 feet up. Now, we don't have any of the onboard data because of some sort of issue with the flight controller. But what we do have is this action camera point of view and some high resolution photos I took in my workshop after the crash. And we can try to determine what the cause of the crash was based on this information. And hopefully anyone else into FPV can save their drone from suffering the same fate as mine. Now this is supposed to be a controlled dive. We were trying to do a few flips, and unfortunately a mechanical failure likely caused that crash. So let's take a look at some of the photos. So as you can see, this is what the drone looked like when it got back to the shop. One of the motors completely is off its mount, and all the screws were missing. At the time, I believe one of them may have been fully sheared off. Now we can explain that in a second. Now, as you can see, two props are bent. Let's get a closer photo of that. This is the propeller and motor that sheared off. As you can see, there's some caked up dirt underneath that propeller, and with the way that it's bent, I am of the belief that this is the initial impact that hit the ground. This propeller probably took a bit of the impact, and then the pins securing the motor to the frame probably sheared off and threw the motor off. This next photo is of the other propeller, which I believe is the secondary impact point. It's only slightly bent, and it really didn't take much of the impact. Now, what could have been the cause of the crash? Well, what we're looking at here is the action camera mount. Now, on one side of the mount, there are zip ties present, but at takeoff, there were zip ties on both sides. Now, the clearance between the propellers and those zip ties was extremely tight. So what I personally believe happened is that the left side motor cut right through those two zip ties, causing the run cam mount and the camera itself to fling off to one side, and that interfered with the propellers, causing an imbalance of thrust, leading to the rapid spin out we see in the video. Now, what can we learn from this conclusion? Well, we can learn that stuff such as action cameras or things mounted externally on the frame like batteries need to be secured in a fashion that does not interfere with moving parts. In the future, if I were to attach that again, perhaps drilling mounting points through the frame underneath the action camera mount would be a better way of mounting. Now, at some point, I'm going to repair this drone. It probably just requires some more bolts to hold that motor on and a couple new propellers, and we can get her flying again.